What's up, my warriors of Goku? I'm just gonna say real quick, sorry if I sound a little more on the quiet side. I might make my mic a little more sensitive sounding, and to counteract that, but it's late right now. Just decided to just do a recording because I haven't really, I don't know why, like there hasn't really been much, I haven't had much reason. It's not motivation, because I have a lot of motivation to play this game, but for some reason there's just parts of me that like, I don't know what to record. I did mention I would do a playthrough of Liu Bei eventually, and I'm going to do that. That's nothing with like motivation or anything. It's just something I'm going to do down the line. But at the moment, I was just like... So pretty much a lot of us Koei YouTubers have just been showing off the updates and everything from Dynasty Warriors 9, the 1.21 or 1.201. I can't remember which number it was. But we ended up just showing off that one. And it was pretty much the biggest thing. And I showed off the DLC and everything, which was awesome. The update, which was, it was okay. It wasn't anything huge, so I'm not gonna like keep sucking Koei's dick for that one. But showed off a lot of video and just did a lot with Zhou Fei's weapon, I guess I should say. Did a video with Sun Jian, Zhou Tai, and everyone. But then I was thinking, you know what, I might actually have an idea of something to do for a video, and I actually thought, why not make one that will probably discuss what I would like. And this is just a list of people that I would like to see, of course. Anyone could have different opinions and everything. But a list of people that I would like to see have, like, either unique movesets or have their old weapons back. Because we're seeing them bring back old weapons and everything as DLC. Yes, it's unfortunate that it has to be DLC, but if we're going to just keep going into that, I'm going to just try to hop in there and just try to have fun with it and just discuss what kind of weapons, or whose weapons, should be back in here. So I think that my biggest one, personally, and I'm going to do a list, is probably going to be slight favoritism because some characters, not all of them, but some characters I'm actually a big fan of, so there's going to be favoritism in here, so obviously there's going to be different opinions and everything. So, oh, just so you know, this isn't gameplay in the background. I'm actually playing right now, so if I get slightly distracted... I'm trying to get better with Zhou Tai's weapon, so I just decided to do a little bit of fighting in here while we're discussing here. Nothing playthrough-wise or anything, but I'm like I've said, want to get better with it, so I thought, you know what, why not? I've seen people do all these crazy combos, but I still want to just learn the basics first. So, I think the first one on the top of my list, and like I said, this is a completely different opinion probably from everyone else's. One weapon I would really want to see come back, because it feels wrong without this person having. They've had it for pretty much majority of their games and everything. So the first one I would want to bring back is Sun Tzu's Tonfas. That thing has been around since its debut. Of course, we didn't really get it in 6, but they brought it back in 7, and then in 8, and then unfortunately they just decided to give him something completely different. Like, I don't understand, like, when they said, like, we want to make this seem a little bit more realistic. Tonfas are still pretty damn realistic. I would understand, like, Zhong Hui's, like, flying swords and everything, but getting rid of Sun Tzu's Tonfas, like, I just didn't think that was a great idea. So, honestly, it feels, every time I play with Sun Tzu, if I ever did it in 6, or if I did it in this game, which I haven't really done, like, so I can't say 100% on that. But whenever I did, it just felt wrong to not play with his Tonfas in this game. So, number one for me, I would really love to have Sun Tzu have his Tonfas back. Absolutely, number one, right there. The next one I feel, it's not, and like I said, this is going to be, it's not like a top list, but that I'll let you know if, like, how high these would be in my recommended. He's not super high up there because this man has gone through transformations of weapons and everything, but he's had it since, let's see, he had it in 4, he had it in 5, they got rid of it in 6, I believe. Yes, they got rid of it in 6 and 7. Then they brought it back in 8, so he's had it for a majority of the games. I'm talking about Cao Ren and his shield, and his sword shield, I believe it was called. Not sword and shield, but his shield. It's pretty much a shield. That man was always a guy of defense, so it was perfect with the kind of armor that they gave him, and then also that shield. It definitely made him a man of defense. I would love to see that kind of weapon come back. I myself was not a huge fan of him, but it does feel weird to see some certain characters not with the weapon that I feel made them who they are. Because the weapons definitely make the man. I'm sorry, or woman. And of course, I'll be bringing up a woman in here as well. Couple, 2 probably. No, actually, no. Actually, now that I think about it, there's another one I also have in mind. So I'd have to say the sword, the shield that Cao Ren used, the blade shield, I think that's absolutely something that should come back. I don't know the actual term for the name, so obviously if I get it wrong, I apologize for those of you who are diehard Sauron fans. But I personally can't go through there. So I personally think that that is a big one that would need to come back because, like I said, these weapons make you who you are. So I really think that Sauron's shield should make a comeback. But moving on from that, it's someone else in the Wei army. And so I would, this person has had their weapon has only been changed twice technically. Once technically because they had the same weapon in both those games, but they've gone through like the weapon. Oh my god, when did they start? I think they got debuted in either 2 or 3. I can't remember 100% sure on the original Dynasty Warriors 2 roster. But I know for a fact that they were in 3, and so I'm gonna say one of my top ones is going to be Zenji. Zenji's flute. They need to bring the girl's flute back. That flute was definitely Zenji's thing. It was their signature thing. There was a lot more objectives now. Holy crap. Oh, and I can't fast travel to some of these. Fabulous. But that girl has had her weapon. I'm just going to say 3 because that's how I remember. I didn't dive deep into 2. I did play, like, I did get the full version of 2 before I got the full version of 3. The first game that got me into this Dynasty franchise, I should say, was the Jam Pack disc on PlayStation 2 for Dynasty Warriors 3, where you did, funny enough, in the demo, it was Zenji, Huang Gai, and Zhao Yun. And my favorite out of the ones, actually, surprisingly, was Huang Gai at the time, and then I played a little bit more with Zhao Yun, and then he became my favorite. But it's just weird seeing Zenji without her flute. Yes, the whip definitely does still suit her character pretty well, but at the same time, it's like I mentioned with Sauron and Sun Ce. Weapons make the person. And that weapon that has been around with her since the longest time, it definitely feels like it's just something's missing from her. Very important when you don't include the flute. So yes, I'd have to say definitely bring the flute back. And besides, and if it's a Musou thing, like, well, the Musous won't really match up. They kind of will because she doesn't really use her. If my memory serves me correct, and it could be wrong because I don't usually play as NG. I've only played as her like once. Her Musos do still... she doesn't really use her whip for the actual Musos. She just uses her actual, like, Musos where she just, like, shoots ice. I mean, I know they do, like, the little build-up thing. Like, here, I'll just show real quick. Like that, where they do, like, those slashes or something like that with the weapon, and then they do that. But that's what I'm pretty much yearning towards right there, is the last bit right there. So, at the end of the day, I really feel like regardless, it could suit her well, even in this game. Because the end result of the Musos is always going to be, like, I think her just, like, doing ice or something. So I would really feel that Zenji definitely needs her flute back, 100%. I'm probably going to be yearning towards more of the people that have been in the game longer, because the ones, it's hard to say for the ones in Dynasty Warriors 8. Like, yeah, so, like, the ones in Dynasty Warriors 8 and such, it's hard for them. It's hard for me to say them and, like, defend them and everything, unless they had, like, a very, like... Because I feel like they're still going to try to yearn towards the more realistic side of things, I guess. Okay, so what am I doing here? Oh. I just need to give him wood. But, moving on from that, so, like, okay, so let me also say real quick, the reason, there's going to be 3 people I'm absolutely not going to include in this, and it's going to be Huang Zhong, Jiahao Yuan, and Zhu Rong, because that's kind of hard for them to do, seeing as how their weapons are, I mean, you might be able to say Zhu Rong's was a completely different kind of weapon in terms of archers. However, at the same time, they all had bows, and bows are something everyone can access, so I don't really mind the fact that they won't have their bows, because honestly, Huang Zhong technically did start off with a sword, just like Jiahao Yuan, even though he's using a double club. And I like Zhu Rong, actually, the way he is right now. Like I said, there's going to be some opinions in here that people won't agree with, but that's okay. So I think the next one I had in mind... Yes, the next one I had in mind was another woman. So this can be two-sided for people. It depends on how long you've been in the franchise, kind of thing. She's had this weapon since Dynasty Warriors 5, and then she kind of just... I think she was in 2. Yeah, she was a playable character in 2, and I think she had her weapon there as well. So, if you're kind of getting the hint already of who it is, it's a long-time character, obviously. So, I would have to say, I would love to see Diao Chan get her double maces back. The double maces have not been in this game since 5, and I feel like... And the sad thing was, I actually got into her weapon during Warriors Orochi, like, 1 or 2. And then I started playing with her during the other Dynasty Warriors games and everything. Like, I would hop back in and just play those again. So it was kind of, like, sad that I couldn't try to get further into them. And then she got the whip, which I don't mind the whip at all, but at the same time, it's kind of just sad that they would get rid of a weapon that she, like, started off with and then just change it for a whip. Honestly, I feel like it doesn't even fit her character too well. Like, the whip definitely would suit someone like Zenji or someone like that, especially not Kai Wenji. I don't understand why they gave that girl a whip, of all things. It works in the end, it works, but it doesn't suit her. I mentioned that when I did the testing one, before this game even launched. But I'd have to say definitely Diao Chan. I would love, and like I said, this is going to be sometimes unpopular opinion because this is just me showing some favoritism. You guys are more than welcome to share your thoughts on who you would want to see come back. But I just miss those double maces so much, and I would love to see those finally make a return. I could still see them work pretty well for her and everything, so I would have to say definitely Diao Chan needs to be getting those maces back sometime soon. And I feel like this is a good time to do it. You could say it's an old one, but at the same time you could say it's new because we haven't seen it in forever. So I think it's definitely time for her to get those beautiful double maces back. So the next person I think I'm actually going to bring up, yes, this one is... I did mention I was going to probably not do Dynasty Warriors 8 characters. However, this one is honestly just a personal favorite of mine. Like I said, favoritism is involved in this. So the next one I'd have to definitely bring up is one of the DW waifus. I'd have to absolutely bring up Lu Lin-Chi and her... God, what the hell was the thing called? Cross Pike? It's the weapon that obviously that she had in Dynasty Warriors 8, as well as the one that Lu Bu, her daddy, had in Dynasty Warriors 6. And that weapon in both Dynasty Warriors 6 and Dynasty Warriors 8 was my favorite. One of them. It was definitely one of my favorites in the game, and I was so, like... I couldn't stop having fun with that weapon, no matter which game it was. Whether it was 6 or 8, I was enjoying it no matter what. One of my main, like, antagonists, I guess I should say, in my, in Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires has that weapon because it's just so good. There's not much I really need to say on that one. I can't say, like, well, this weapon definitely made her. The sword and shield definitely work for her, but Xing Sai has definitely been more towards the sword and shield than I feel like Lu Lin-Chi should. So that's kind of just one of the... it's a dull reason, but at the same time, I just want it back. It's something that I've missed so much. So I think it can happen. I think it's a realistic weapon that can happen, so let's make it happen. So this one as well. So this one is pretty much just like... What's-her-face? Diao Chan. This weapon was in so many early games for this next character, and we haven't seen it since 5. I would love to see Zhou Yu, excuse me. That man needs to get his Elder Sword back. If there was one thing I would love to see come back, it is that Elder Sword. That Elder Sword was such a... what's the word? It's such, like, refined, dignified, and majestic, like, moveset and weapon in general. It was so good, and it really showed off Zhou Yu's character. What kind of character he was and everything. I loved that weapon so much. I didn't play as it as much as I would have liked to, but when I do, I usually go in and I loved that weapon so much. I was a huge fan of Zhou Yu back in the day, don't get me wrong, I still like the staff and everything, but this is something that they could do. Give the staff to maybe like Zhu Ran. I'd be cool with that. I could still see that working. And then let Zhou Yu have his original Elder Sword back. That is something I would love to see. 100%. So, yeah. there's not much I want to go deep into that one. That is just one that I've been missing for a long time. It's just something that I've just really been wanting to see for the longest time. So make it happen. Make it happen, Koei Omega Force. Come on, guys. Let's see some good old school weapons come back. People I'm sure would pay money for that. I would. I know I would. Yeah, like I said, I am playing this, so it's hard to sometimes do discussions and then do this as well. And play the game at the exact same time. People could probably just say, well, why don't you just put gameplay in the background like others do? I don't know. I just don't feel like doing that. So I guess another one, actually, that I would love to see, because I mentioned this in the live stream that I did a little while ago with Lulin Chi. I would love to see, and this isn't really, I guess you could say I just want these two weapons to change. So I'm going to say I want Wen Young's Javelin to come back. It was a really cool weapon at the time. And it wasn't anything like... I wasn't a huge fan of the weapon, but however, for some reason, I guess this is just me because I like to see uniqueness. When I saw the new characters, I was like, oh dude, I can't wait. Maybe they're going to get something unique and something really cool. Then they kind of didn't at the same time. It was new. Most of the weapons that they got were new. However, at the same time, other people ended up getting the same weapon, and then it kind of killed the, well, new character vibe. Because when you get a new character, you kind of hope that they're going to be like something brand new. They're going to be like they're going to be unique. They're not going to be cloned or anything like that. And then they ended up getting cloned. So I feel that Wen Young should get his Javelin back so he can get rid of that weapon that he has right now. I don't honestly know the term for that weapon, but and just let that be a weapon strictly for Zhou Tai. So this isn't what I'm going to say, like, needs to be on the list. But this is just something for, like, I'm just being picky, and I want, like, I just want Zhou Tai to be a unique character. Same with the other new ones. Understand, like, I mean, I wouldn't say it's extremely hard because they've made ridiculous weapons before in, like, Dynasty Warriors 8. But I know they're trying to aim towards a more realistic feature in this one, which they kind of shoved down the throats a couple times, like, well, we want this to seem realistic, so some of these weapons are going to have to go. So I understand what they're trying to go towards there, but a Javelin isn't also a realistic weapon, so I could see that coming back just for that to happen. One I will not mention and going to skip because I'm only going to give ones that I really care about. So people are going to be like, well, why don't you just say so-and-so or so-and-so? There's two weapons in this game that I really could give two flying craps about. And that is the yo-yo blade that Bao Sun Young had. There's probably another term for it, I'm aware. And then the flail sword. Probably the biggest one that people will be upset about is the flail sword. But I personally despised that flail sword so much. I couldn't have fun with it. I didn't enjoy it. There was just nothing great to me about it. Like I said, this is just my opinion. You can have a whole different opinion. But I could care less if that weapon did not come back. But that's just me, of course. But we're gonna just avoid that because I could talk probably a decent amount of crap about both those weapons. But I'm just gonna move on to the next one that I feel they're once again sticking into the Shu Force. I'm gonna say Yue Yin's what do they call it? It was like they called it a dagger, but I sometimes call it the scythe for some reason. It was no, not the bow blade. It's a cool weapon, but I don't care for it. If she doesn't have that thing again, I really don't mind. I'm fine with the moveset she has right now. It's okay and everything. However, I just feel that scythe / dagger was definitely a much cooler thing to me. I had fun with that weapon, and no matter which version of it was, the Dynasty Warriors 8 one obviously was my favorite. I used it for one of my main characters in Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires and everything, so that definitely shows some favoritism. I'm aware. But that weapon was just extremely, extremely fun to me to use, so I definitely have to say that I would love to see that one come back. So I think I'm just going to skip everyone else in Shu. Obviously, most of them have their weapons still, so I don't mind it. No, I'm not mentioning Madai and his dumb, stupid brush. No. We're going to move on to Jin. Is there actually anyone in Jin? Oh, actually, yeah, I did mention that they're not 100% realistic. However, I would love to see Zhonghui get his flying swords back. Probably, I don't know why it would be. God, there just keeps mounting up in freaking objectives in this one. I would love to see his flying swords back. Those things were awesome. Yes, they gave him a good substitute for this game. However, I'm not here to play a super realistic version of the Three Kingdoms era. I'm sorry, I'm not. They should have stuck with what they had in Dynasty Warriors 8. So I would love to see his flying swords back. Those things were awesome. Those things were definitely, I'd say top 10. It's not my top 5, but definitely top 10 weapon on there. The weapons were really cool. They did crazy damage, and they had a very cool EX attack. It's pretty much just a crowd breaker, which was very awesome. Am I getting up there? So Zhonghui's I definitely see would come back. And honestly, this one I'm twisted about. I would love to see it back, but at the same time, I don't mind the weapon they have right now, because they're also a Dynasty Warriors 8 character, and I did mention I'm not going to mention too much of them. However, I just feel like maybe for some, they would like to see it come back. I personally would, just for the sake of one of my main characters in Dynasty Warriors at Empires, Kuno. I would like to see a return of the wired gloves. The wired gloves were a extremely fun weapon, very weak weapon. Don't get me wrong on that. They were a very weak weapon, but they had their fun moments as well. Game, don't lag on me. Stop that. Don't be disrespectful to me. I own you. Stop this. Oh, well, I just killed the peasants. No, I would not understand what he's like. You're right. Honestly, everyone else in Jin, I don't really mind, but going back to the wire gloves, I loved how quick that weapon was. I just loved the deadliness in that weapon. It just seemed like just piercing the people just with a straight wire just seemed so awesome to me. It just felt, like I mentioned, didn't do a lot of damage, but it just felt so empowering to do something like that. So, once again, probably playing favoritism, but I'd love to see Chunhua get some wired gloves back. If she didn't, I would not be upset, because I love the weapon she has now, and that could actually be a good substitute if they ever do Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. Not saying they're going to right now, because I really would like to see them get this game straightened out first before they do that. Otherwise, I'd kind of just be a little disappointed in Koei. Again, my opinion. I know people are clamoring for that, but I personally just want to see them make this game better before that happens. Because this game still has ways to go before it can be the game in Dynasty Warriors. But it's going on a good path. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to shit on the game. I enjoy this game so much more now. And many people have just jumped on this. And maybe it's for some who actually have experienced it. If you've experienced it and you don't like it, okay, good for you. That you're entitled to your opinion. But most people, I feel, just started to just jump on the bandwagon. Maybe they thought at first, this game's actually fun, and then they actually just listened to like popular people or just a majority of people say I hate it, and then they just jumped on the bandwagon and are like, yeah, this game sucks. I personally don't think the game sucks anymore. Did it at launch? Sort of, but now not at all. I feel like this game is getting stepped up, and I really am. I've been enjoying it so far. I can't stop playing it, honestly. It's been super fun for me. But we're not here to discuss about the state of Dynasty Warriors, so let's keep moving on. So maybe to me, honestly, I feel like that would kind of be it. I could always just mention like people who just should have like certain weapons. All right, and for those of you who mentioned probably Yue Jin, and those of you who are unaware of Yue Jin, he is getting his weapon back, so that's why I didn't mention him. I could have mentioned Li Dian. I love that weapon as well. However, I've heard nothing but good things about the current Li Dian, so if it came back, cool. If he doesn't, I don't mind it. If anything, I would like to see Guan Yu possibly get his own moveset or something. Just because it's pretty much his weapon, so I feel like he deserves it. Or Yu Jin. Give Yu Jin his own moveset. That would be awesome. Why am I running, by the way? So kind of hard for Other, honestly. The weapons in Other, I actually don't mind. I mentioned Lu Lin Chi, of course. Lu Bu does have his own weapon, even though I'm not a big fan of it at all. Dong Zhuo, I mean, he's difficult because he's just got a flail going on and everything. I should have read that. So I had to pursue someone? Oh, okay. Yo, I love the outfits on these brigands. I like the different outfits that they put in this game. It's really cool. I'm glad that they at least put attention to that. They put honestly no attention into the outfit changes for different forces in like 7. They did somewhat in 8, but they did really well with it in 9. They gave bandits and brigands their own just like looks. It looks great. I love that. I love that diversity. Yeah, I already mentioned Yao Chen and Lu Lingqi. If Zhou Tai ever got his cards back, I would be like, meh, okay. I don't really mind it. His weapon was fun in 5. Yeah, 5. I liked him in 5, and I just never really played as him in 8, so I can't really say anything about him. I can't really say anything about Meng Kuo either because he does have the gloves and everything, so... Can't really say anything about that, so maybe people could say something about Chen Gong with the scroll. I was never a huge fan of Chen Gong with the scroll. Apparently he's actually 10 times more fun here. Probably an unpopular opinion, but I've heard it from friends that they say he's more fun there. I should give him a shot. Maybe I will sometime down the line. Don't know why I'm speaking like this, but I didn't get that house over there. I could mention, so like I was saying, I probably could mention characters that like should have like their own moveset and stuff. The NPC characters that became DLC characters absolutely should have. But I mean, it's too late now. Honestly, and this is, I just feel like the three of the characters should have had their own movesets. I honestly could care less about Hua Xiong. But I don't know. I feel like all 4 of them definitely should have had their own movesets. You gave us DLC, but you pretty much just gave us DLC with characters who kind of just have the same moves. And all that, so it was like other characters, so that was kind of a letdown. But they at least gave us a little hypothetical scenarios and stuff, so I was cool with that. I loved Dong Bai's story. What's up, people? Where you at? Where you at? Oh, we're getting hazy now. We're getting a little bit hazy. So yeah, if my combos look like not good, it's because like I said, I'm just trying to get the basics of this weapon. I don't usually try to go for like the super like crazy combos that people usually show off. I'm just here to just do some basic shit and just have some fun. That's pretty much me. What's up, Ganji? Yeah, there's not really much anyone else that I would want to discuss right now. Except for maybe a revamped version of Lu Bu. I'm sorry, him twirling that fucking halberd is just stupid. But maybe another one I could just mention, like, who should be unique instead of just, like, returning weapons and everything. So maybe I could do that in another video. I don't know. I'll see. I kind of want to try out Dong Bai with the Twin Star weapon. The double, like, flails. But I believe they're called Twin Stars, which is why I usually call them that. Alright, so we got Ganji over here. So yeah, I'll probably play as Dong Bai in the next video. I kind of miss playing as her. And actually, I tried it out with her. That weapon really does kind of suit her as well. I feel like that's something I could do too. Like, does this weapon suit so-and-so? Because I did that with, when people were getting weapon changes and everything. But, I don't know, maybe I'll bring that, maybe I'll do that again. Just for like what weapon suits so-and-so? Maybe I'll do that. I need something fresh to do right now because, like, kind of outplayed the update and the DLC weapons with some of this stuff, so I'll see what happens. Let's see the last Ganji. Yes, he is. That's not very nice. Where are these flames? Oh, so Sunsa is actually in there. Where are the flames? Oh, I probably just went really quick. There we go. So obviously if I missed anyone out, sorry, I got a little quiet there, I know. But if I missed anyone out, feel free to let me know who you guys think should get their weapons back. You can do agreeing with me, disagreeing with me. I kind of wanted to show who I would like to see, and then obviously I said once who I could care less to see. And if there were some who came back, I would just be like, meh. So let me know what you all think on that. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be this video. Just wanted to do a little bit of discussion as well as do some more Zhou Tai training and all that. So thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Farewell.